I made this astronaut riding a T-Rex in space cross-stitch last summer. Today I'm making another one as a gift, and I'll take you along as I finish it up and show you how to back it too. To start, I grabbed an embroidery hoop and some black 14-count Ida fabric. I folded the fabric in half, then in half again, and finger pressed it to mark the center. This is the pattern I'm using. It's from X Cross-Stitch Pattern X on Etsy, which I'll link in the description below. While the pattern includes recommended DMC colors, I'm using floss from my existing stash, just like I did last summer. I don't really want to buy more embroidery floss since I have a lot already, and it's fun to make each piece a little unique. So here's the pattern. And here's the center. I'm starting with a few stitches right in the middle, then I'm working my way out. How long do you think it's going to take to complete this? I'm going to be tracking my progress, so keep an eye on the time. Don't have much of this color left to do, but I ran out of thread. "48 hours later, and I've just got these last couple of stars left. Did you guess it would take 48 hours to complete? Let's wrap this up. All stitched up, just finished up the final knot to secure the thread, and done! Next, I'm prepping the embroidery for backing. There's several ways to do this, but I'm going to show you my favorite method. First, I'm ironing out the fabric. I've laid down a fleece blanket underneath to avoid flattening the stitches. I'm applying more pressure around the edges and using a lighter touch over the stitches. Be sure to keep the iron moving to avoid any scorching. Next, I'm adding a fabric that matches the color of the Ida fabric to place behind the embroidery in the hoop. This might seem like overkill, but I like to ensure a really solid background to make sure the design pops. I'm cutting the black cloth to roughly the same size as the embroidery and giving it a quick press. Now comes the most fiddly part, getting the embroidery perfectly centered in the hoop. This step might take a few tries, but it's crucial to get it right. I'm also stretching the fabric tight and securing the hoop screw as far as it will go. Take your time here, I think it's worth it for a neat finish. Next, I'm trimming the fabric around the hoop. I'm leaving an inch or two around the edge, then cutting in a circle to match the hoop shape. If you're nervous about cutting, I totally get it, it's a lot of work, so remember less is more. You can always trim more if needed later. To deal with the edges, I'm doing a simple running stitch around the fabric, then pulling it tight to gather up the excess. The front's already looking clean now that I've done this. I like to finish my hoops with felt on the back for a polished look. I'm cutting a piece of felt a bit larger than the hoop and marking out its size. I'm then marking a line slightly inside the first one to account for stretch and the hoop's thickness, and cutting it out. I don't always do this. Since this is a gift, I just want to add one more special personal touch on here with an applique. I used tie-dyed fabric, cut out a small design with heat transfer vinyl on my Cricut. I added sewable heat and bond for stability and easier placement. Then I secured it with a zigzag stitch before attaching the felt to the hoop. Now I'm sewing the felt onto the back of the hoop using a whip stitch, pulling it tight to make sure it's secure. This step really pulls everything together and gives the piece a professional finish. Sometimes I do a little extra embellishment on my hoops, like this lizard cross stitch where I Mod Podged fabric around the hoop and also added some bedazzled gems to the cross stitch too. And here it is, the finished piece. I made a few improvements over my first one, like using a darker outline colour and more contrasting pinks. I think this one turned out even better. Let me know what you think in the comments. Would you have done anything differently? Do you have a different favourite technique for backing hoops? Let me know. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.